Hi, Aaron here from howtosing.com. We're going to be talking about how to improve your singing voice. Now, I know that's kind of a broad topic, so I just want to narrow it down for this particular video to eliminating nasality, that really kind of annoying sound that is often in the voice, and just talk about kind of how to get rid of that and a little bit about that process, and even give you an exercise at the end as well. So let's get right to it. That nasally kind of that tone, what it does is it squashes the resonance, that kind of full, big, resonant tone that you want. It kind of squashes that down. It has an annoying quality that you don't really like in the first place and don't really want, but it also kills the resonance, so you don't have that full kind of powerful sound as well. So how do we get rid of it? Where does it come from, all that? It's primarily, that nasal tone primarily comes from the soft palate. Now the soft palate, if you take your tongue and you can feel on the roof of your mouth, that's the hard palate right there. If you follow it back to there where it gets kind of like softer there, that's your soft palate. So the soft palate, when it's that nasally tone, what happens is that soft palate is lowering. It's lowering excessively. And so actually try this with me. See if you can find it first of all, and then once you find it, give like a little yawn, like a oh. Notice what the soft palate does when you do a yawn. It raises way up, and actually your throat kind of opens up too, and your larynx lowers. The yawn is it's a great way to kind of see where you need to be and what it needs to feel like kind of when you're singing. Now, it's an exaggerated form. You don't want to sing like, oh, I mean, some opera singers do, but you don't want to necessarily sing like that, but you want that kind of motion where the soft palate is up a little, you want your throat nice and wide, and then your larynx to be pretty steady. Your larynx tends to raise up for the higher notes, but you want to keep that relatively steady. So during that motion, you kind of feel the soft palate and what it does, how it raises up. So let me talk a little more about that. Now when it's down, what it does is like the NG sound, that consonant when you do sung, if you're singing the word sung or any NG sound, what it does is it cuts off. Go ahead and do an NG, and then try to blow out of your mouth. You can't, because it blocks the air from coming out of your mouth. So all the air comes out of your nose, and so you're getting this kind of nasal tone. So when you're doing NG or even like a T sound, that's different than the soft palate. But anytime your tongue, the back of your tongue or the front of your tongue raises up to do a consonant sound, you want to get right back down where it's supposed to be, behind the teeth right there. That's where you're singing the best. So anyway, I'm kind of going all over the place, but this is mainly talking about the nasality. So the NG consonant is something that you need to do, and that the nose has that nasal sound, has a function. I mean, you do want air coming out of your nose when you're singing, but primarily you want it coming out of your mouth. Your sinus cavity, your nasal cavity, it is a resonator, but it's more of a kind of a secondary resonator. And it's a resonator when you're in your head voice. I won't get into head voice and chest voice, but primarily you want the air coming out of your mouth. And so when it's mostly coming out of your nose, that's when the nasal sound comes. And try this with me. This is an exercise to kind of get you to feel what it feels like to raise and lower your soft palate. Plug your nose, and you're going to get that kind of a nasal sound, right? Now see what you have to do, like just say like an E or something. So you're going, E. Try to get the nasal out of your voice. Watch what you have to do. E. Notice I got the nasal sound out of my voice without unplugging my nose. What I did is I raised my soft palate, so E. Give it a try a couple times and you'll kind of figure out how to raise up that soft palate. Now, you don't want your soft palate raised too high, because if it's too high you start sounding like Jimmy Stewart, or you start sounding like Kermit the Frog. You don't want it way up there, but if it's lowered you start sounding like Peter, Lois from Family Guy or something. So you don't want it too low, you don't want it too high. There is a balance of where you want it. Chances are that if you're having this nasal sound in your voice, then it is typically too low and you need to raise it slightly. But again, if you raise it too much, it starts getting kind of weird sounding, and it also kills that natural kind of bell shape you have in the back of your throat that helps you resonate. So again, you don't want to go too high If it's too low, that's where the nasality is kind of coming from. So I want to give you an exercise real quick of how to loosen up the sinuses and loosen up kind of the mask area right there and get a feel for that kind of nasal sound, and it'll help you when you are singing to kind of avoid that kind of sound. I call it the nair exercise. It's just on any scale, I'll just do a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So like nair, 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 you know, real kind of that brassy kind of sound. But what that does is it'll loosen up here, and actually that sound will help you get into your higher range, but I'll talk about that in a different video. But nair, 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 nair. You can raise the note even. Nair, 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 and you can keep climbing or whatever. But anyway, that's nasality. That's how to eliminate nasality. You don't want your soft palate up too high. You don't want it too low. You want it kind of somewhere in the middle. So I've got, if you want to go to my site, howtosing.com, I've got a bunch of more kind of tips and tricks and a bunch of information there. And I've actually recently recorded a video of how to sing high notes. I think it's like a 10-minute video, how to sing high notes more easily, but how to sing high notes more easily without the strain, which is really the goal. So anyway, I hope this has been helpful. I'm Aaron from howtosing.com. Oh, you can actually just click the link below. Go to howtosing.com or just click the link below. Okay, see ya.